Hey Jack, that was good information we got on your video about the professionals having an estate sale.
I like that. I like it too.
So I was thinking about the family run estate sale. So I guess there's a couple aspects of this. One, the people that actually live there could be doing the auction, or two, they could have died and their kids are doing the auction for their parents. Which one is a better for a picker to go to? One that's done by the actual people or one that's done by the kids?
Well, it's kind of a toss-up.
Okay.
Usually when somebody passes, there's a big check coming and there's a house to sell and cars and an insurance company's going to give money, there's savings. And a lot of times they really don't care about it if it's the family or the children.
So a lot of times they're looking to get rid of it and end this chapter in their life. It's
that's
hard
exactly
on them,
right. And that's another reason they go to the professional. They don't want to deal with it because of that. Because it's hard when somebody passes that you don't care for or love. But with the family, it's a lot easier to buy from the family. Because for one thing, they do want it over with. Number two, it's in their way. And as a rule, they don't even, most of the time, they have no use for anything there. They'll take a few sentimental items and they'll just sell the rest of it. It's amazing how fast they want to get rid of it.
So pretty much, if the people that live there passed away, the family's doing it. You're walking into that estate sale knowing that the stuff that was sentimental has already been pulled out. The stuff that they really cared about has been pulled out, and the stuff that's there is stuff that they really want to get rid of.
That's right.
So that sounds like you've got an edge, right?
You have a big edge, as compared to the professional, because he's going to eke out as much as he can, he or she can. And the women are really sharp at that, by the way, the estate sales. I've noticed that. They're sharp.
Okay.
But the family is who I would want to buy for most of the time. They're really easy to deal with. They'll negotiate, and then you can kind of pile things up in a pile and give them a price for the whole pile. Very easy to get rid of.
So that's what you'd recommend instead of going to them individually?
Yes.
You'd put 5 or 10 things in a pile and say, how much can you do for this whole pile?
Exactly. When you call that number for the estate sale or the date of it, that's the first thing you want to find out, if it's a professional or if it's family.
Okay. Now, do you when you put all this stuff on a pile, are you calculating in your head individual items and thinking what you can get for them, or are you just doing it as a whole when you negotiate that price?
Well, you can do it any way you want to, but I like to pick up an item and say, what do you want for this? This is $10. I'll say, will you take 5? And if they say yes, I know I've got a big shot with them. So I do that with 10 items that would have been $100. I've already got them for $50. And then when you pile the items up, you say, hey, that's $50, and I'm buying those items right there. Would you take $40 for it?
I see. So you're actually doing it twice. You're negotiating item by item.
It's true.
And then you're putting it in a pile, and then you're negotiating the price for the pile.
That's right.
So you're getting a double discount, so to speak.
I like that.
Pretty slick, Jack. Pretty slick. All right, so
it works.
What's the difference if you've got the older folks that are moving down south and they just want to sell their own stuff? What's the difference versus dealing with their family? Well, I know one, they know what they paid for it.
Right. But if they're moving like that too, they just don't care. They want to go. Very rarely, unless they're planning it way ahead of time. A lot of people plan way ahead of time and want to get all they can out of it. But as a rule, most people just don't care. I've had them offer me stuff by the truckload. You know, you want to load that up? And I've had a lot of people offer to give me items, a lot of items.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that buy more in quantity and they're going to be happier to give you a deal, because their ultimate goal is to get rid of everything, and if they see you carrying off a third of the stuff or all of the stuff, they're more willing to negotiate on price.
That's right. And don't forget, give them your card. When you're done with this sale, would you be interested in selling all of it to me? A lot of times they'll just give it to you.
Okay. Now the thing I notice in the eBay store, a lot of people come into me and saying, well, I paid $300 for this in 75, so I got to get at least what I paid for it and then make some money. How do you find it's best to deal with that if you've got that in an estate sale run by the people that live there, and you know that the stuff hasn't appreciated over that 30 years, it's probably depreciated? How do you get them off of that thought that their item's worth so much?
You have to tell them right out, and a lot of them don't like it. That's where football enters into the negotiation. You're going to pass.
Okay. to just pass and
You
maybe.
can't. It's hard to tell them. They're set in their mind. They really believe it's worth that much, even if it's not.
Right. I mean, a lot of, I hate to say it, but probably 90% of what people buy in life doesn't appreciate. It depreciates over time because it's used, it breaks. You know, it was better when it was new.
I've told you this story, I think, before about the guy that spent $5,000 or $10,000 on a bunch of McDonald's toys.
Yes.
Yep, he thought they were worth a fortune, and he couldn't sell one of them.
Right. All right. Well, that's helpful for dealing with the family auctions. And the next time we come back, Jack, we're going to talk about the auctioneers that are running an estate sale.
My kind of guy.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.